watching, because producer Anton, he's been in touch. We're approaching the final 10 kilometres. Things have slowed down considerably, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Rob. I'm always amazed that it looks slow in this situation. You see them all spread across, go, that looks slow. But if you actually tried to ride next to them, you go, oh, we're going a bit quick. It's still enough for Jonas Vingegaard to look to the side and just a quick couple of words. But we're still cruising at above 40k an hour, and these guys are just in second gear.
Yes, the speed is certainly relative to what it was, which was absolutely crazy for the fact that there were 25k's to go. But with 9.5k's to go, it's going to change again soon. Ever so slight bit of climbing as we're on our way into the false flat downhill in just a moment's time that will lead us all the way to Lagos. The speed will go from the jolly at the moment, able to have a conversation or two with those on the front, to the supersonic rather quickly. The afterburners lit early, and with all the road furniture to come, sprint teams and GC protectors hoping to have their riders at the front when they need to be at the front. This is Benzafrim in the Algarve backcountry. We started the day in Portimao, 190 kilometres on the menu, and we have 9 of those to go.
Oh, Rob, I think the moment that things are really going to light up is where there's going to be more room to move and teams can start to make a pass and bring themselves and their sprinter forward. So, lockdown at the moment on these narrow roads, they're able to just low speed, hold position. As soon as things open up, look for moves from behind, teams coming forward. Wider road, trying to get a peak. The big team's still trying to you see Rui Costa, spread wide, go wide, keep it shut down. We've got position, let's just hold.
Yeah, the sprinters teams who have the position as well, I'm thinking Lotto, they'll be pretty happy with things as well here. If they weren't in that position, they'd be already probably looking for a way through to the front. You can see Bahrain Victorious have found a way through the bodies and at the front, just as that has narrowed and then widened a little bit. They're now through the front. Number 126 for them, Brian Olivo, is there. There's a gap opening in the centre, and this is where things could start to change again. A couple of Sudal quick-step riders moving up. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe keeping that position for Jordi Meus for the sprint, and for Primož Roglic to be kept safe on GC. On the left-hand side, Lidl Trekker looking after Theo Gegenhardt as well.
Yeah, and also I'm just noticing that Matthias Vacek is on the wheel of Jasper Stuyven, so that looks like the lead-out combo for Lidl Trek as well. Geraint Thomas doing a really good job, and that'll be for Sam Watson, who's had a couple of top 5s already this season at the Tour Down Under, and he's on the ups. He's gone from 5th to a 4th, and he's a guy who, not an out-and-out sprinter, someone who survives a tough course as well, really climbs quite well, which is maybe no surprise for a rider from the Ineos Grenadiers. They do, like all of their riders, whether they're a pure sprinter or not, to climb quite well. And I'm really looking forward to see the 2025 race debut of their new sprinter in Caleb Ewan. Not quite sure yet exactly where he's going to start and when.
There's chat about
Settimana confirmed as yet, or a quiet start, like a sort of a bit like a soft launch before getting into the bigger stuff, to let him just regain full fitness, find some racing legs, maybe also gain a bit of confidence, get himself back to where he was in terms of the sprinter's head on the shoulders of a body that is still insanely quick.
Solar Power City just outside of Lagos, the hills off to the background and the clouds that the riders found themselves in earlier on. There is plenty of sunshine down here, certainly the closer you get to the coast. How much power will there be as they motor towards it? 6.2 kilometres to go.
I'd say about 1.21 gigawatts.
who's going to produce it.
We'll see in the future.
You're full of them today. You can tell it's late down there, Lester. You've not got the six-pack next to you, have you?
I know. I watched that movie last week with my daughter, who'd never seen it before. Back to the Future.
For those of you joining us late, Robbie, he's doing his best to stay awake at well past, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning now, down over in Queensland. Here in Europe.
Yeah, it is 25 to 3, it is.
Is it? Oh, way past your bedtime. Dirty stop out, dearie me. Well, in 5.5 K's time, you'll have reason to stop up, because you will be dissecting this sprint for us. It's calmed down in the last 15 kilometres, hasn't it? The heads of state, if you like, of the peloton who've been at the front. Diplomatic conference calming it down, but now there's a different look. There's head on, game on, tunnel vision ahead as they're about to set up their sprinters.
It's still very regimented, you know, the teams all sort of lined up, nobody mixing in against and within other trains just yet. Lotto over there now on the left of picture, and the man in the Belgisch driekleur, the Belgian champion Arnaud Delis, primed to launch his sprint. Right hand side, EF Education, Rui Costa doing the job for them on the front of the team at the moment. They're riding for Maddis Mikkels.
Just sort of in danger of being bumped out by Tudor Pro Cycling in their black jerseys on the left hand side. They're going to have plenty of power racing for them to back up Alberto Dainese. This is a fast, false flat downhill road into Lagos. 4.5 kilometres to go, just less now. The left, as we look at it, Delis he's got a bank of power in front of him. All those red jerseys for the Belgian champion. Lidl Trek just alongside with Vacek. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe looking after Roglic, but they want to try and win the stage with Merce. On the left-hand side, as we look at it, Robbie's talked about Maddis Mikkels. EF Education have ridden all day for that. And just as I complete this sentence, the gears are clicked through and they are motoring now to the final 3.5 kilometres. A reminder that we've got roundabouts inside the final 1.5 kilometres, and that final one to be taken on ferociously inside, straight into the final little bit of a sprint. Comes with around 700 metres to go. It's Catania now at the front in the blue jersey for Soudal Quickstep.
Well, it's taken quite a while for it to really kick off, Robert, once it does. I mean, look at the speed go up. And, well, Geraint Thomas, he was ready for it to happen. He's still got his, well, not all of his team, but he's got Filippo Ganna still with him. Look for Sam Watson. And now it's gone from that, you know, side by side, all the teams lined up to just an absolute washing machine now as they approach 3 kilometres to go.
Straight road down here, kinks to the left before we get to 2Ks to go. Then there's a kink right and left before the roundabouts and all the fun starts. The one that could take quite a bit of speed off comes right just before 1 kilometre to go. Goes from right to left. The road though narrows here, which explained quite a bit of the fighting for the front. We've just gone inside 3 kilometres to go, and that's good news for the GC riders should anything happen from here on in.
Yeah, in terms of time loss, should there be an incident, that's no problem anymore, but still wanting to stay safe and just get themselves intact through to the finish. EF Education coming through the middle of the road now. Tudor Pro Cycling looking really well organised, and Julien Alaphilippe just functioning in that lead-out train, just swinging across and through another couple of trains, and just getting a bit of disorder in other sprint trains as they bring Dainese towards the front for Tudor.
There's an attack on the right-hand side from one of the Portuguese teams, Tafer Overs Murtuawa, rider in the green jersey. That's going to force any opportunity to be chased down there, and it speeds things up a bit with 2 kilometres to go. Andermatt, you talked about them waiting. They have waited. Another team that's waited, Picnic Postenel. Remember, Castor van Uden is here. He's on the right-hand side and being helped up now towards the front by a couple of teammates. Following the wheels is Lewis Askey of Groupama FDJ. We've talked about Sam Watson wanting to be involved as well for Ineos Grenadiers. On the left-hand side, Belgian champion's looking good, but his lead-out has lost him for the moment. Milan Fretin is there, 1.5 kilometres to go. We're going to a big roundabout to the left now, Robbie.
Yeah, big roundabout coming. Passage on the right-hand side, swooping all the way around. Jordi Meeus piloted well towards the front now. He's got a teammate on the front. Arnaud Delis is now onto the wheel of Jordi Meeus down there, so he's picked his man he wants to follow. Fretin also up there for Cofidis, a man who won his last outing and be looking to go back-to-back.
1 kilometre to go, and you can see that Wout van Aert comes up to this final roundabout in just a moment's time as they'll go to the right and into the finish straight. Inside the first 20 positions, there is the first left-hander. It's still got to go to a right-hander onto the finish. We're inside the final 1,000 metres now. There's a bit of disorganised scene at the front now because Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe looking around. There is that 1 kilometre to go, Kite, slightly later than we were expecting it. Here then is that final roundabout passage up now in towards that left. They'll swing over to the right and into that final finish straight. We're looking around at the positioning. It's been ever so slightly organised and calm, but then it's exploded into chaos. And here we go on the left-hand side. Riders have gone the wrong side. Riders have gone the wrong side here. What on earth has happened here? Riders are on the wrong side of the road on the left. Riders are all over the place here. They're sprinting there, but the finish is on the other side of the road. Robbie, what on earth has happened? It's Filippo Ganna who's got away in a stolen march. Filippo Ganna is there. The rest of the peloton on the wrong side of the road. This is a farcical finish to the stage at the Volta Algarve for most, but it is a glorious win for Filippo Ganna, who's one of the few riders who went the right way. There they come around under the left-hand side. Ganna celebrates parallel. It's almost like they're in parallel universe there. But Ganna has won in the most bizarre finish that we have seen in a long, long time. Filippo Ganna wins the opening stage of the Volta Algarve in Bicicleta. And I think we're going to be reading lots of column inches overnight as to what on earth happened there. And the commissaires, Robbie McEwen, have a decision or two to make about what on earth has happened. What we do know is Ganna has crossed the line first, but he was one of the few who went the right way.
Yep, one of the very few that went the right way. But the ruling, as we'll see riders now clambering over the barriers to actually cross the finish line. The rule in cycling, Rob, is that no matter what happens, they say it is the rider's responsibility to know the course and stay on the course, no matter what happens. What will happen in this case is nobody will lose time. I'm sure the commissaires will say, OK, that was an absolute mess. Everybody finishes with the same time. But most certainly the result will stand. Filippo Ganna wins solo in what was set to be a big bunch sprint. And Rob, you described it perfectly. It was bizarre. Someone has taken a wrong turn and the rest have all followed. It looked very much like the commissaire's car was directed off course and the peloton just followed. What a mess.
Robbie, as soon as we came to air, I mentioned about the sprint on one side of the carriageway. You and I had this conversation, I think, a year ago, and we were joking about somebody going the wrong way. This year it has happened. I am absolutely gobsmacked by what we have just seen. The Algarve continues to be its idyllic self in the background, but on its roads, we've had a farcical finish. Not to take anything away from Ganna, who's won the stage. That'll be a line on his palmarès. But for the rest, they'll be asking what? They'll be wondering why. They'll be looking back at the replay, and some might be feeling rather silly. But then again, you're following the wheels, Robbie. What do you do? I mean, I don't know where to begin to find an explanation for this.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, what you just said as well. When you're following the wheels, there'd be plenty of riders who would have noticed they're going the wrong way, but they're caught on the wrong side of the bunch. And there's absolutely nothing you can do but go with the flow. And once the decision's been made by whoever went the wrong way initially, just pulls a lot of others with them, and there's no choice to be made. You just caught on the wrong side of the wheels. But yeah, it has turned into a farce. Unfortunately, what was set to be quite an incredible bunch sprint to open this Volta al Algarve has, well, become a solo victory that is also, well, not unprecedented. Filippo Ganna has done that sort of thing on many occasions, but this, I would say, would have to be the easiest victory that he's ever achieved, because it was, in the end, presented on a silver platter.
I would love to know what was going through his head as he came across there, and the rest of the peloton as they watched across. Whatever happens, one thing is for certain, they are going viral. Now, Robbie, keep your eye on this. You can see the motorbike and the police pointing them the wrong way. They can't believe what's happened. How's that not... Well, there's a reason it hasn't been closed off. That's for the cars to go down. But surely that's a signalling error.
Well,
I'm pretty certain you and I joked about this last year, or in the last couple of years. A few years I've commentated on this stage now, and you always see that split and you wonder, I did not think it could happen. There you go. The Lotto rider turning around quite lightly and saying, well, hang on a minute, what on earth's happened here? Surely there has to be a bit more going on there. In the meantime, you've got people who are sat in the wheels who still think they're sprinting for the line.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is a very natural line to take. I mean, let's face it. You in Europe, you drive and you ride on the right-hand side as the natural line through that roundabout, and there was nobody telling them otherwise. And the barrier setup was on that side non-existent, because that's the deviation for the race convoy.
On the left-hand side.
And then
They're
you
all
see
sprinting
them
out on the right.
But this is comical. They know they're on the wrong side. They know they've gone the wrong way. They can see the finish arch on their left, but they sprint through there anyway, maybe in the hope that they'll get something out of this. But the thing will be that they have not crossed the line. They have not been on the correct side of the racecourse, no matter whose fault it is, and that the win of Filippo Ganna will stand.
Take a look at this. This is going viral, I can promise. Filippo Ganna winning